And I think we're ready for it because, you know, a lot of the large corporations are basically now, they got to take over, you know, all these other functions that governments used to do, you know, policing, making non-government organizations and such to, you know, benefit themselves, but also to make you know, their world better, because I mean they're so big that they're just as big as any, you know, a lot of countries now. You know, Walmart and ExxonMobil used to be Enron, I think, too, but they're not anymore, obviously. Or no, Enron was Citibank, yeah, Citigroup. They used to be pretty big, but probably not so much now after the economic fallout. Which you don't want to get me on that, but so yeah, a new type of business. One, so where you can, you know, make the measurements, change the measurements a little bit, and I'm working on this. I don't really want to talk about it, but then you can have some lawyers and stuff, because, you know, like LLCs, all the paperwork and stuff that was, you know, needed for that, all the, I guess, the government, the states all passed laws on the creation of LLCs and all that kind of stuff, like 20, 30 years ago. Not that long ago. I mean, those limited liability companies are pretty young, and, you know, there's a lot of them, and, you know, they work pretty well. So what I think we ought to do is, yeah, make a new kind of business. You know, one, again, you got to get the measurements right, make it not just based on profit. The measurements of the people, the measurements of the company, the measurements of your, you know, group that runs the company, whether it be a board of directors or whatever the heck it is. You got to get the measurements right. You got to get the measurements so that they make sense for everything else. You know, make them on par with whatever it is that we want as, you know, human race and society and such. But so that would be the new type of company, a new type of organization that, you know, hopefully legally we get all passed, so that we can have something else in the marketplace, something else, some other organizations out there to compete with the corporations. I think they would all compete the corporations and make the world a better place. Because it all comes down to the numbers. It all comes down to the measurements, how you measure people, how you measure companies. It's how you know, that's what determines the behavior. You know, that's what determines what evolves. You know, the ones that are most successful are the ones that are best able at getting the results, and the results are whatever the measurements dictate are the results. I mean, achieving your measurements. So that's what we should change. I think we should push for consumer genomics. That's kind of a little bit of one of those things that's kind of borderline, and I haven't brought up before really, but you know, it's kind of what do you call it? It could be seen as controversial. Now, what do I mean by consumer genomics? Well, I think it's coming anyways. I mean, I don't think it's that controversial, but, you know, why not make, you know, genes and drugs which can influence a person in ways other than just, you know, preventing a disease? Maybe make them smarter. You know, gene doping make you a better athlete. Maybe, you know, maybe you want to have blonde hair for a day, or a day, but maybe for a couple of years or something like that. Well, maybe there's a gene for that. Maybe, you know, take a drug, or you know, maybe you can take some kind of a vector that can transfect a gene into your cells, hair follicles, maybe all the cells in your body, who knows, and it can change you to be a blonde, and you know, I bet that would sell pretty well. You know, even with these new companies and such, I still think that, you know, profits is a big part of it. You just got to change some of the deal, you know, but, you know, ultimately it's not that much different. You know, you're not going to change human nature. Avarice and greed are what drive us. So, but they drive us, you know, generally fairly well towards something, towards progress. So yeah, so that would be one of the things I think we also should do, is we should push, you know, allow consumer genomics to allow that business to that should let that one come, because that's the biggest thing. I mean, that could give us all basically, you know, the prelude to heaven on earth. I mean, you don't want to be fat anymore. Take this, you're not fat. You want to be fit. Take this, you're fit. You know, you want to grow wings and fly like a bird. Probably not, but just in case, I mean, that gene might be out there, and you might be able to do that. You know, you might be able to change back then too. I mean, basically, your wish is your desire, and that's, I think, what everybody wants. And, you know, if we can make a heaven, then why the heck do we have to worry about heaven and whether or not we screw up, you know, nature, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is with that, though, too, is, I mean, I don't think we should, you know, be screwing around causing, undue suffering and harm and stuff just like that. But, I think we should be, practical. We should be logical, and we should, weigh the options, be utilitarian when we think about these types of things. And I think if we do that, no one will get, no higher force in the universe is going to come after us. So, how will we be, though? What I really think is going to happen? Well, again, I think we should preserve ourselves the way we are. We don't want high tech to, change us fundamentally. We're humans. We're not robots. I don't think we want to be robots or have robots take over. Maybe some cyborg kind of things, maybe for short term, or for people that, are sick and such. Maybe, make us a little more intelligence, to get us there a little bit faster, to the point where we can go back to the old ways, but have, all the rest of that other stuff. Consumer genomic kind of things and such. Maybe you would be able to live indefinitely with like nanotechnology and all that great stuff, running through your veins and such. Maybe you could also download yourself for every couple of days, and have your genome. So just in case you do die, you just get you clone yourself, and the clone grow to be the age that you were, that you want to be, or whatever. And then you download the memories that you had, at your last memory checkpoint back into that person. And there you are. You're fine. You're walking around again. There's a movie made about that. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Most movies like that are made with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, we made science and technology getting to better our lives. We don't want to be a slave to it. We don't want to be working on factory machines for the rest of our lives, or dinging around programming on computers. We want to actually go out and enjoy ourselves. So, we didn't evolve to like those things. Maybe we could, evolve ourselves to enjoy doing some of that stuff. As a matter of fact, I think we should, for some of the, necessarily programming. I don't think that will be what we'll be enjoying in the future, but some kind of, higher level order thinking that we can probably not even imagine now. But when we're, extremely ingenious after, our consumer genomics and such, or maybe some of our supercomputers and all that kind of stuff that have, human type, human emotions or something built in. Maybe then you could also, while you're at it, make them actually enjoy doing a lot of the stuff that we call work. We should continue to grow, but we should understand our growth. We shouldn't put drugs on the market unless they're thoroughly tested. Same thing with all this stuff. We don't want to screw it up. That's the worst thing. It's not, speed to market. People wanting to get this shit out so fast and not testing it. And then, you could set a whole thing back, because everybody freaks out. It's like, a 3 Mile Island, little escape of radioactivity into the air, like 1,000 thousandth of, a level that could even hurt anybody, and yet we're not building stinking, nuclear power plants in this country. And look at where we're at now because of it, where energy is, way too expensive, oil and all that kind of stuff. We're kind of we're screwing ourselves. That right there might have cost billions of lives on this planet. Just that little fear. Same thing with some guy died of gene therapy like 5 years ago. Now there's been like a ban for 10 years or something. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Don't want to rush it too much. But and then again though, if someone does, just like one person, so 5 people get saved from a terminally illness, and 1 person dies and 4 people, nothing changes. 5 people got saved. Something that's gonna kill them in a year. That's. To me, that's well worth it. Again, think utilitarian. You add the numbers up. Let people make the decisions themselves. If they want to take it, let them take it. So, I guess that's where I'm at with that. But you don't want to put out a bunch of crap out there that's just to make a profit. It's not going to kill someone, you figure so, and then it makes them lose their memories, like that fen shit. I've met some people that have been on that, and they really, it fried their brain. It didn't fry their brain. They're still able to make a lot of logical thoughts, but they can't remember short-term anything. That's really too bad, because all it was some stupid diet pill that barely worked at that, probably. So, I guess that's good for now. Oh boy, another half hour. This is going to be a long set. Whatever. Goodbye.